I've been looking at this sawmill from Harbor Freight for a couple years and had been on back order and it wasn't available, and it's finally available again. And my friends at Harbor Freight just said that they would send us one of these at no charge for us to, we'll shoot a video with it and show it. I've been wanting one so bad, and that's awesome that they sent it to us. So I didn't pay for this, so it is a sponsored post, but this is gonna be a lot of fun setting this up and using it here on the property. First thing I need to do here is go mine a little of our chert. Use the tractor here to dig out some of our chert. Chert is a rock. It's very hard rock. But in this state here, it's almost like a gravel when it comes out of the ground. You break it up. And it makes great road base and stuff like that. So we're going to use this as the base for underneath of the mill. So I brought in about 6 buckets of chert here, just using my micrometer, knowing that it's high over here and low over here. So this is about a foot deep or so, but I'm gonna get in here with a 2x4 and a regular level first and the rake, and just kind of get things the way I think it needs to go. And then I'll get the laser level in there and get it pretty well flat, and then run the compactor a few times. Okay, got it raked out pretty good. Still a hair low over here, but I'm gonna run the compactor to get a good base, and then I'll bring in some more to level it up the rest of the way. It's looking pretty good though. That's about a 7-foot 2x4 that's laying right there, so it gives you an idea. Pretty well level right there, so that's about what my eyes were telling me. Carry that over. Get rid of that. Some of that high there was just meant to bleed out this way, but we should be good. Got my laser level in there, regular level, kind of a screening board, and a compactor. I started running the compactor across it. It's gonna be a nice area to come in here and load logs onto the sawmill with the tractor. Plenty of room to get up in here and set them on the mill with the tractor. It's a little bit off level, left to right here, but not too bad. And I'm right. I'm catching the bubble, so just a little bit more work. Within an inch or so, so I'll be able to rake it in real good, add a little more material on the left side, rake it, and then run the compactor one more time. Well, that was a good way to ship this sawmill. It's in very nice packaging. It's on a pallet, and it's got a steel cage built around it. Yeah, that is solid. Very, very happy with the way that shipped. Some assembly required. Using this feeder board with a level, leveling it out. So that's where the mill's gonna go. Okay, I put the forks on the tractor and brought the sawmill back over here to the installation site. Just getting ready to open it up. Some assembly required. The motor's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Big gas tank on it. Found the instructions in box number 2. Everything seems packed really well in here. Like there's a spider came from China in there. Hopefully he's dead. So okay, getting everything laid out here. Haven't started bolting anything together yet, but I have to double check with my plans, but that is what I believe how it goes together. Yeah, I've had it all. All right, so this is how far we are right now. I'll tell you, this is very heavy. It's just me and my wife doing this together. You may want to get a third or fourth person to help you with this because it is kind of a challenge. But we've got it in this position already, and we just got to pick it up and swing it around and then get it on the track. I think we'll be able to do that now that we got some leverage on it. But it's definitely awkward, and it's not really balanced well, so it's hard to carry. There's no good handles on it. They could weld some handles on it. That might help a little bit. But,
and we're not on a flat.
Yeah, we're up on.
All around.
Yeah, it's flat where it mounts at, but everything we're up on a hill all around, so it's difficult to get it here. Well, it's mostly together. We got to tighten everything up, square it all up, but it's together. That was a pretty big job. It was important for me to get this level, so if I start rolling it one way and then I let go, that it stops. If I go back the other way, that it stops. So it's not going to just roll off, because getting it level was the hardest thing. The transition strips where the two rails end and the other one meets, that needs to be pretty much so seamless, so I'm still working on that. I got to get rid of, there's a little crack in between there, just the smallest little, they're both level height wise, but I got to get that little notch out of there. So I'll take just a little bit here, but getting this level out here was the hardest thing. That's why I spent so much time doing it. This is not our permanent base. We're going to build a platform that this is going to sit on out here. But for right now, we're going to start cutting dunnage with it. And then the dunnage I can use to build up the base that this is going to sit on here. So it'll be extremely level when I do that. But right now it's extremely close. But yeah, if there's a little chunk there where the two L beams there, the L channel things meet, if there's a little chunk, then it's going to change the cut in the wood. So it'll like be flat and then it'll go up or down, because the log won't have that sharp transition, and then it'll be carried over the whole span. But you'll definitely see that there. So if anything you don't have level here is going to show up in the logs. So, and yeah, I understand it needs to be level, and that's why we spent so much time doing the base. But it's not going to sit out here on the ground permanently. It's going to get mounted on a platform out here, and eventually it'll have a roof over it and everything too. And then maybe we'll have some drying racks out here too that'll be under cover. So after we cut lumber, it can sit outside and air dry without having rain get on it and stuff. But it's a process. Not everything can be done on day one, and I don't want to go out and buy a bunch of 6x6s or 8x8s right now to build up this platform when I got a machine right here that's going to make those for me. And they don't have to be super precise for what I'm getting ready to do to build that. So dunnage is step number 1. We're not doing any fine lumber or anything like that for quite a while with this. Right now it's just the timbers to build this, dunnage for blocking buses and stuff like that. And I have a ton of cedar trees here, but I'm not going to, every cedar tree we've ever cut down on the property since we've been here, I've saved the logs for them. So there are cedar logs everywhere. I have probably 50 of them already, but I'm not going to use the cedars for this. The cedars, that's going to be for fences and different stuff later. But we're going to get some lumber on here today and start making some big dunnage. And then eventually, you know, that'll be what goes under here and what we're going to use to block up buses and stuff like that too. So I've been really looking forward to having the sawmill, and getting everything set up was really it was a hard process. I wouldn't say it was easy. It was me and my wife. Just real quick, we had to put these little stops on here that stops it from rolling off on the end. You gotta get everything squared up and true on there, level. Make sure we don't cut through these backstops. That's probably the number one thing that I will do when I destroy my first blade. I'm sure that everybody who has a sawmill has ever done it. You know, putting the tracks together was pretty easy. Getting all of this on here and everything rigged up was pretty easy. I already got the oil in the engine. The only thing I have left to do here is hook up the cooling system, the water there. I got to get that hooked up right so that it drips onto the blade. But oil's in the engine. Haven't put the gas in. You want to make sure you always use a stabilizer in it, because you don't know when the next time you're going to come use this is going to be. I've got everything level on there. I measured from the blade down to that beam down there, and the blade on this side down to the beam. I was about a 1/16 of an inch off just from the initial setup on there. Got everything tightened down, and then you have these little adjusters here where you can tweak it one way or the other to get it totally level. And that's what we did. I haven't figured out the scale on here yet. There's an adjustment on there, but maybe that's more for when you're cutting one log, and then you can set it and then you go back to the next one and it moves, you know, how far you moved it. I believe that's what that's for, because it doesn't go down to absolute zero. So that must be what that's for. I've never used a sawmill before. I've been at my buddy's when he used his, so I've watched him. And just like a lot of you who are going to comment on this video, you'll be a YouTube expert on sawmills, I'm sure. Probably more comments will come from people giving me suggestions on how to run a sawmill than how to be a mechanic. Whatever. I mean, I'm learning. I'm sure I'm going to make every mistake in the book, and that's how it's going to be. But it should be fun. And we have 25 acres of heavily wooded stuff here, and we got trees down everywhere that we can start cutting up and doing something more useful with. I mean, we've got that huge poplar that came down last year that I'm looking forward to using that too. But this will do up to a 20-inch log is what it says on here. 9 foot something long. So I've cut all of mine here about a little over 8, like 8'6" is what I was kind of cutting them at. So I'll have 8 foot lumber from all that cedar stuff that I've got. But yeah, we should have a log up on here today, and hopefully we'll start making some sawdust. Again, it's not going to be 100% perfect. It's the overall machine is level, the base is level here, but it is on the dirt, and you can see there's a little, like, it's kind of hanging in the air that last little couple inches. But I didn't want to mess with it a whole lot because I knew I was going to be putting down a wood base at some point here in the near future. But this is fun. We're going to put it through a series of tests here and see how it works for a beginner sawmill. I think this is going to be a nice beginner entry-level sawmill. There are other companies, other brands out there right in that same price range of about $2,500. But even if that company's like based in Canada or something, they still make their unit in China. So I don't think you're going to find a mill that's not made in China anywhere in that entry-level price range. Learn on this, and then someday if I want to upgrade to something that's powered by a Detroit diesel, that would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, you can see all the giant trees we've got out here everywhere. A couple cool buses back there in the woods. Yeah, this will be nice. I'm ready to load my first log. It's over 1 foot in diameter. Nice tight ring pattern on it. It's had a lot of woodpecker damage to it. See if this is a disaster to do it with one person back here. The tractor's off. I'm going to just tip the hydraulics forward and hope that it rolls on its edges. Down just a hair too far, but that's nice. It didn't slam under there. My forks are a hair lower than the mill is right now. I can't think of a more perfect log to be my first one. That's gonna be nice. A little bit of stabilizer. Big enough for now. Tell me when it starts coming out and make sure it hits the blade. Is it coming out?
No. There? No, it's too much. Now it's hitting the blade.
Is it just a little dribble or?
It's coming out pretty good. That's probably better. Okay.
Okay, it's in on. It's got oil in it. Probably go ahead and shut that off until we're ready to use it. Okay. Is there a choke button? Choke. Fuel's off. Fuel's on. See how many pulls. Hit the throttle a little. We're just shy of 10 inches we got out of that one.
Can we use this over?
I will say that using this sawmill is like a difficulty level of 1. It is super easy. I'm shocked how easy it just cuts like butter, and I got a few more tools that we ordered that aren't here yet to help us moving logs around and wedging stuff up and things, but man, this was really easy to do.